you ready to make technology work for you? Tune in to Act on Tech, the podcast where we break down the latest tech trends and show you how to boost your productivity at home and in your business. So, subscribe to Act on Tech today and visit alexcustomtech.com to see how we can take your business to the next level. That's Act on Tech, your guide to smarter tech for a smarter business. Alex Custom Tech, IT means integrity and trust.
Hello, welcome to Act on Tech, where we talk all things technology. I am Alex of Alex Custom Tech, and today's episode is about something a lot of Windows users are noticing. A recent Windows 11 update has been slowing down SSDs. So we're going to talk about this and how I got wind of this. Believe it or not, I wasn't even doing my normal tech blog or search or whatever. It's just somebody who's very tech savvy at my job said, Alex, that Windows is messing up SSDs and NVMs. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I did some research and I'm like, whoa. So again, even though I'm monitoring businesses, I didn't know about this, but my clients are okay, and I'm going to explain to you why. Now, again, this is probably nerve-wracking for people and frustrating because, like, Windows, we're relying on you guys to update the software, the OS, and keep us protected. But here you are causing problems and opposed to fixing it. And again, we're gonna walk through what happened from my understanding, how computers really work with this stuff, and kind of give you like the background information and the synopsis about what's going on with your computer and how to address it. So if your computer feels sluggish after an update, you're not imagining things, okay? Because given the fact that this is out there, you're not imagining things. We're going to break down what happened, who's affected, and what you can do about it. Right? So maybe get a look at tech tips. So Microsoft have been pushing regular updates for Windows 11, but one of the latest patches caused an unexpected problem. Reduces the SSD performance. So, that means that it's slower, it's not booting up fast enough, it lags when you're opening certain apps, and overall, frustration for people who upgraded to SSD for faster boot and faster reaction time and click on things. So I'm talking about that in a couple of podcasts before, that if you want to upgrade your computer, one of the things you can pick up, and I said pick up an SSD, right? So especially, like I said, if you upgrade a computer and you pick up an SSD for speed, right? The first thing you're gonna notice that if you did download this Windows update, you're gonna notice that right away, right? So today I'm gonna explain to you what's going on, how to check if you're affected, and the steps you can take to get right back to where you need to be. So let's go over a couple of terminologies, okay? SSD, solid state drive, is a faster storage device that replaces the traditional hard drive. I'm talking about the spinning drives, and it's a quicker boot time and load time for like applications and stuff like that. And KB updates are knowledge base updates, Microsoft code word or code name for individual window patches. So when you do Windows updates, it's a KB knowledge base file that that goes on your computer. And IO performance is the speed at which the storage device read and write data. So if you follow along with the terminology, there's a little bit more of a class, but anything like that. Okay. So what's happening, or what happened? Okay, a recent Windows 11 update, cumulative update, specifically a KB file, KB version varies, but KB version introduced a bug that impact how SSD handle read-write operations. So the file the update that Windows pushed out, you download it to your computer, and it rewrite the IO performance, right? How the computer read-write files to your SSD. Now, After that happened, users all over the world started reporting performance drops about like 50 to 40 to 50%, right? In their benchmark testing, because sometimes people use things to test their computer performance, stuff like that. And they use tools like an everyday task, actually. An everyday task, they see the slowdown and they notice it, right? So both NVMe and SATA SSD are affected depending on the configuration, right? So signs you might be affected. So how are you going to know if you were one of the people who were affected by this? Your boot time suddenly takes longer, right? Application that normally open instantly feels like it's kind of sluggish. File transfer, if you do a lot of file transfer, and program installation takes much longer than it used to, right? Benchmarks tools you can use to test your disk is like Crystal Disk Marker or Crystal Disk Mark. You can use that to test your read-write speeds. So if you're getting what the manufacturer says you're supposed to get. If you test any slower, that means that this could be this update that caused it. Right now, what can you do? Okay. First, you want to identify the update that caused it. So your most recent update or your most recent 2 updates, you want to check to see if that's what caused it. Sometimes you can go online and check and see if somebody else figured out what the update is that caused the problem. Then you can backtrack your Windows to prior to that update, right? Every time Windows update, technically it's supposed to have a timestamp where you can roll back to the system before the update, and then once you roll back to the system before the update, you can wait out the update, because Windows more like is going to send a fix for this. So I wouldn't worry about this long term, and enough people are complaining, so Windows is going to definitely do something about this. But right now, I think we should just roll back to the previous update or the 2 last updates, sit it out, and then when they say, hey, we fixed it, then you can continue. Now, there is like I said, there's no solutions in life, only trade-offs. By doing that, whatever they were trying to fix before those updates is now going to be vulnerable on your computer. Okay? But that's depends. Are you okay with the slow computer and you want the security? Again, when I talk about this before, you can't have both, right? So, again, what to do? Go to settings, Windows update, Windows history, look at the most recent KB number, all right, to roll back or uninstall, right? If performance is severely impacted, uninstall the problematic update, all right? Microsoft often release hot fixes quickly. So, like I said, enough people are complaining and crying about this, and I'm doing a podcast about it too. So, and I'm going to actually update this podcast. I'm going to actually use this podcast as my next podcast. Normally, I do 2 podcasts. Normally, I have 2 podcasts in the pipe, but I'm going to push this one out now since this is so relevant, right? And update firmware. So, here's another thing you can do. So, your NVMe and your SSD was manufactured by a company, and the company has firmware for these hard drives so that your computer can read them. You can update the firmware if Microsoft taking too long, because sometimes the company might fix the problem in opposed to Microsoft fixing the problem. Okay, so you can do that. So update the firmware for the SSD, like Samsung, Crucial, Western Digital, etc. Right? Monitor Microsoft patch notes. So keep an eye on release notes and tech blogs. So that's kind of what I do, right? But even though I do that and dismiss me, I do that, right? Now, bigger picture, why it matters. Automatic updates are essential for security, but bugs like this highlights why backups are important, and testing. I talk about this all the time. If you back up your computer, this wouldn't really affect it, but you can go back easily and get an image of your computer before this mess, right? For businesses now, by my clients. The reason why my clients are not affected by this, here's why. I use something, well, some people, you could do two different ways. WSUS is a server that collects all the updates Microsoft pushes out. It stores on my computer in my server, right? And then I can test those updates, right? And then when I'm confident that they're good, then I push out the updates to my clients. So it doesn't just come down from Microsoft straight to their computer. It goes through my server first, then it goes to their computer. That's kind of how that works. And you can also set that up in your house, or you can, in your small business, you can do that. You can have a computer that's a dummy computer that does the updates first. You test them out. Then, when you're confident, then you allow the other computers to get the updates. That's how enterprise do it. That's how small business is supposed to do it. Those are good business practices. So you wouldn't just automatically download updates from Windows. You would see if they work first, then you would allow them to go on the computers. Okay? So that's how that normally would work. For home users, it's frustrating, I said, I know, but it's a good thing to stay informed. That's kind of how I would categorize that. So the takeaway, right? If your PC feels slower after Windows update, check your SSD performance. It may be this that's causing it. You're not imagining it. Uninstall or roll back to the latest update if necessary. Like I said, there's a way to do that in Windows. Always keep your firmware for your NVMe or your SSD up to date, right? And business should test updates on non-crucial machine before rolling them out to their client's computer. Again, I still have a WSUS set up, right? Businesses normally have them. I work for a business around that very big company, and they have it. They push out updates when they're ready. The Windows don't control when the computers get updated. They do monitor it, and I do monitor it. But like I said, this just happened like yesterday. I found out about this, and I'm gonna go check my server now to see which update this was. But my computers in my office, none of them have the update, right? So I'm gonna go look into that and see what's going on. And what I'll do, I'll write it out, because like I said, if you roll back the computer to two previous KB files, right? KB knowledge base files, updates, right? You're going to be vulnerable to whatever those patches were supposed to be fixing, right? But you won't have the slow speed of the SSD. Now, if you keep the computer the way it is, you're going to have the slow speed, but you're going to be protected. So again, it's a trade-off, right? Do you want the convenience of the speed, or do you want the security and the slow speed, right? That's why I said there's no solutions in life but trade-offs. But anyway, this is a pretty cool podcast to talk about something like this. But like, again, I'm not saying that it's good that people are losing speed on the SSD. I'm just saying this is a teachable moment for us here at Alex Custom Tech, right? So like I said, roll back, do your firmware update, monitor Microsoft patches and notes, like I said, and like I said, a takeaway. So this is gonna be a long one, but again, it's just very interesting that we talk about updates all the time and how important they are, and then this happened. But to be fair though, Microsoft will fix this problem, so I wouldn't really panic, because like, well, okay, here's what some people are saying, and here's what the guy told me, because this guy is kind of a tinfoil hat kind of guy. He's like, well, they're wiping your files off your SSD. I don't think so, right? When I did my research, I don't see anything like that. Maybe you can tell me if that's happening, but I don't think it's wiping the files. It's slowing it down ridiculously, 40 to 50% slow down speed. You're gonna notice that. And when you're booting, if you normally just press your computer and it boots right up, and now it's not doing that, you're gonna notice it, because people notice those little things, right? But you're not losing your files, right? And if you are losing your files, you're supposed to be backing them up anyway, right? So you shouldn't be just having your computer with no backup solution on it at all. So again, from my understanding, you're not losing your files, it's not locking your hard drive up. It's ridiculously slowing it down. Now, if your hard drive had other issues, right? And then this happens, and then it kind of like, craps out. That's a whole different animal. People probably gonna blame Windows for that, but that's probably not what's happening, right? So yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, so again, you have two choices, right? You can write it out, Windows send a patch out, and they'll fix it, or you can roll back to a time when before the patch, and then you get your speed back, but then you also have the vulnerability that they were fixing initially. So that's something to take into consideration. And again, technology, on a side note, technology is not an end-all, fix-all, right? So the attitude of like, Windows dropped the ball, Windows messed up, blah, 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 Windows is evil, it doesn't make any sense, okay? Windows didn't do this. Some people think that they do. They didn't do this to cause a problem. They were trying to fix a problem, and then this happened, okay? Now they're going to end up fixing the bug. But this is supposed to make our life easier, right? And even if we lose 40% in speed or 50% in speed, yeah, it might show up on the budget eventually, but it's not the end of the world. I don't think it is. I appreciate technology. I appreciate the fact that we have this available to us. I'm gonna remember when we never had it. So this is not a problem. This is not the end of the world. I don't think you should think of it as the end of the world. Your IT guys have the workaround. Rock on them. These are the times when you might need one, or you can go to your MSP and say, hey, listen, I heard about this bug. What are the solutions? What we have in place? And you're gonna say something like what I would tell my clients now, like, yeah, you don't have to worry about that. I didn't download it on your computers. Okay, we test all the updates for it before we send them out, so you're good. And that's gonna give you peace of mind. You need a MSP if you have a business. This is what I'm talking about. It's not just about the money. It's that peace of mind that you don't have to worry about this stuff. There are things in place that we have in place that we use to protect our clients. And the reactionary, tinfoil hat people, they're running around. Windows is evil, and Microsoft is evil, and Apple is evil. All this stuff, and then that doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, we have technology that makes our life easier. Be grateful. Okay, we could have went back to the Stone Age, or we were with pen and paper, and we couldn't know ahead from our foot. Okay, so this is a much better system we have now than before. So be grateful that we have those things. Again, you don't have to take on every single thing Microsoft or Apple does, but be grateful that you have the technology available to you to use, right? So stop the fear mongering, right? But at the same time, SSDs are a great thing. But again, spinning drives are still out there. I have a couple of hard drives too. They still work, okay? You don't have to have a SSD. You don't have to have an NVMe. You don't have to have that. Okay, you can have the regular, hard drive. They still make them. They're still out there, and they're pretty fast. Okay, they're not lightning fast like a SSD, but they're okay. My main computer still have a SSD in it, right? So again, this is just the takeaway to think about. So again, this is not that long of a podcast. I figure I want to cover this topic before, because it's topical, right? It's timely. So yeah. So I'm gonna have my AI take it away from here, but keep acting on tech.
Alex Hutchinson is the founder of Alex Custom Tech and the voice behind the Act on Tech podcast. With years of hands-on experience in technology, Alex has built a reputation for making tech simple, reliable, and practical for both small businesses and families. At Alex Custom Tech, the focus is on solutions that actually work, from secure business networking and Wi-Fi systems to VoIP phone setups, smart cameras, and complete backup strategies. Alex believes technology should empower people, not frustrate them, and his company was built on the principle that IT means integrity and trust. Clients count on Alex Custom Tech for everything, from computer repair and upgrades to designing entire business networks to protecting data against modern security threats. Whether it's a one-time project or ongoing support, Alex and his team pride themselves on being approachable, dependable, and committed to helping people stay productive. To learn more about Alex Custom Tech, visit alexcustomtech.com, email info@alexcustomtech.com, or call 855-686-315.
Hey there, Jersey and Eastern PA businesses. Ready to take your IT game to the next level? Get excited because Alex Custom Tech is coming your way. We're your go-to for IT support, bringing integrity and trust to every service. From network upgrades to virtualization and even relocating your IT setup, we've got you covered. Stay tuned as we put the finishing touches on our new site. Alex Custom Tech, helping your business thrive with top-notch IT support right in your backyard.
Welcome to Alex Custom Tech, your trusted partner for computer service and repair since 2010. We provide professional consulting services to clients throughout New Jersey and Pennsylvania, offering everything from computer repair to network design and installation. Our focus is on building efficient, results-driven professional relationships with our clients. We work with you to create customized solutions that fit your specific needs, whether you're an individual or an organization. Our comprehensive IT consulting services are designed to make your technology work more effectively for you. We provide solutions that meet your business's performance and utilization demands. Because we understand that when your technology doesn't work, neither do you. We specialize in network design and implementation, taking the pain out of network creation, maintenance, and repair. Our team understands that even minimal downtime can impact your productivity and revenue. That's why we offer 24/7 proactive monitoring and maintenance to strategically optimize and protect your infrastructure. For residential and business clients, we provide affordable and reliable computer repair services, available both on-site and at our location. Our commitment to quality is reflected in our satisfied customers' experiences. We service New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Alex Custom Tech is ready to serve your IT needs. Contact us today at 855-668-6315 or email info@alexcustomtech.com to discover how Alex Custom Tech can help optimize your technology solutions.